Hey everybody, it's Ben, and this is Ethan here, and I decided to include him because this is also his band. And I've decided to do this project and be a multi-instrumentalist because this is a project goal for me. It's unreachable, but being a multi-instrumentalist is a good project goal because you definitely have a lot on your hands and you're definitely playing multiple instruments. And I feel like there aren't a lot of people who do that, let alone disabled multi-instrumentalists, so I tried to also do that myself.
But during this project, he was able to pull it off.
Yeah, it was really difficult because I definitely arranged a lot of my parts to be very, very difficult by accident. Like when we played Heavy Dirty Soul, did you even notice that I kept switching between guitar and percussion? It was always really, really difficult. And everything needed to be on point. And I feel like we did that justice. I really tried to make sure it was good. So, did we meet our budget? I would probably say that we did.
I would say that we did. I may have had to buy some extra cables and cords and stuff, but other than that, we didn't break the bank.
My expectations for this project were extremely low, based on the fact that we lived in a very expensive area. Back Bay is already very expensive. And we had to work with what Berkeley had to offer, which at times is not the best. I don't want to completely shoot the school in the foot, but it's not the best. So we need to definitely figure out what kind of resources that we had and how we were going to use them. And I feel like we did all of that to our advantage, at least to the best of it. For this project, we used a lot of different resources. We mostly used, in terms of communication, we mostly used Instagram chats because it doesn't really matter if we're all iPhone users or Android users, it will still work. And it was a very useful way for the entire band to communicate, along with me and Ethan, which was very good, and we were able to communicate very effectively, and Ethan was able to communicate very effectively as well as I was. And I also communicated when I had to get an extension to get to the loft, and that was very easy to do, and I'm grateful that I got the extension. It was relatively easy. Ethan made all the posters for this project in Microsoft Word. You want to show him one?
Well, I'm going to show it right here. This is the poster that I made for the show, all in Microsoft Word. I started hanging these all around campus about 3-4 days before show. Hopefully I can snag at least one more before they all get taken down. But
and yeah,
they worked. But they worked. We had a really good crowd for the show.
We did, and Ethan let me keep that flyer up there as a little memento for the show, which was fantastic. So there were many parts of the project that were very, very difficult. And one of the things that were very, very difficult for us was definitely trying to make sure that every member of the band was going to be with us for a full band rehearsal. There were 7 of us. This wasn't just me and Ethan again. We decided to make a really big show with 7 people. And sometimes we couldn't really get them all into one place. We also tried to book ensemble rooms. Ethan, you got an accommodation granted, yeah?
I did, but there were some caveats. I had some issues with getting rooms in 150. So that Ben did not have to travel a long ways to get to rehearsal. And then occasionally everything was already booked up and they said no, and we had to go to 1120 occasionally, which is not the worst. It's better than going to Fordham. But unfortunately, we were going to have our last full rehearsal at the Fordham Road Dance Studio because it was a big space. So we wanted to be sure that we have a big space to basically run the entire show like we're going to do it live. But then the power went out at Fordham, and everybody got evacuated, and then Fordham shut down for the day, and we had to quickly find an alternate room to rehearse in.
Which we were lucky, because we were able to switch with the person who was originally going to be in the second room that Boy Face Hum was going to rehearse in. Ethan's also part of the 21 Pilots Ensemble, and I believe it was either me or Ethan that booked.
You did.
It was me that booked their room. I decided to stick around in case there were any issues. And we actually made a deal and swapped the room, so we ended up getting that room for the full 4 hours. which we were very, very lucky to get. And I feel like the most rewarding aspect of it was to definitely see it all come together, because it was a really difficult project in itself, because we had to call a bunch of people for this project. I had to find instruments to play. I had to definitely go coordinate with Ethan, coordinate with Manny, our bass player. He also helped us with a couple things. And I feel like if it wasn't for them, it wasn't for Ethan and it wasn't for Manny, I wouldn't have been able to actually find a way to play effectively on these pieces, because I had a bunch of things going for me, and it was relatively difficult. So this last one, what did we learn more about myself in general, is I feel like I still got it. As a multi-instrumentalist, it's so difficult to just make sure that you have them all down pat. And even though I had to play with a guitar and the neck was covering my octopad, I used a Roland octopad for the show, and I had a keyboard I also played keyboard, so I had a keyboard in front of me. I had an octopad to my left, and you definitely had to be aware of your surroundings, because you were definitely stuck in a box. And I believe that I proved to myself that this is still completely possible. Even when you're still stuck in a box, you can still make things work, and I feel like I've proved that I'm actually capable of doing that. And
you definitely did.
Yeah, that was a really difficult project, especially also being in the back there. I'm glad I wasn't really the center of attention at this point, but it was weird that I was towards the back, but I still made it work. The energy was mostly focused on me, because this was actually my official last show as a Berklee student, and I feel like I had a lot of fun doing that. And this will now prove that I'm still capable of doing that when our jam band is going to do a post-Capstone show. So that's definitely going to help me for that as well, even if it doesn't go far. So we also have a couple videos from the show that we would like to share with you, right?
We do. I recorded the whole show via Facebook Live, and a friend of mine also recorded some videos from my point of view, but since Ben was right next to me, you can very clearly see him in it.
Yeah, and we basically had a lot of fun making this. It was quite hectic at the loft, but I feel like the end result couldn't have been better than I have asked for. It was very fun to play with our friends, because why would you not enjoy playing music with your friends? It's the most fun part about Berklee. I had the opportunity to do that one last time before I got. And it was a very fun event. And it's been a pleasure getting to know all of you, and I wish you guys all the best, and I hope you guys enjoy the videos. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
When